Hello, everyone. Welcome. We are off for Tech Rounds, courtesy of TechbuildAfrica. And Blessing Abeng is the co-founder of Ingressive for Good and also the co-founder of Disha. Today, we're going to look at positioning for technology.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm really amazing and I'm happy to be here. Yeah, so I've been on this journey where I'm trying not to introduce myself based on my work, but things that you probably will not find on Google is that my main mission in life that I acknowledge is that I am just doing whatever I can to contribute to the ecosystem, to the earth. And I'm just trying to leave people and environments that encounter me a little bit better than I meet them. Okay. I think my journey was really interesting. I used to work with a lot of huge brands, right? Really huge, giant brands that had big budgets. And while I was up to that, I realized that there were small businesses who were solving critical problems and they had interesting solutions, but they didn't know how to tell their audience about it. They didn't know how to tell their stories. And this was a long time ago, to be honest, but it was a problem that existed. And during that period, I decided, I want to start a small business that's going to help small businesses sort of figure their things out. My way of contributing is by sharing any knowledge and every knowledge that I have. I feel like if there's something that I know, everybody deserves to know it. If there's something that I stumble on, I'm happy to share it. I'm such a sharer when it comes to knowledge. And so that has been one of the biggest drives that I've had. I'm someone who thinks that no idea is my own or my father's own. So if there's an idea that I think could better the world, I don't care where the idea comes from. If I believe in it, I'm happy to give it my 100%. Once I've said yes, I would give it my 100%. And do it with all the excellence, all my strength, all my might to ensure that it reaches the people that it needs to reach and just makes the world a bit better. So if you want to get into tech, I think it's expensive, of course, but it's possible for everybody. And I'm glad that there are opportunities and platforms like Ingressive for Good where you can just actually get it for free, right? And all you have to spend is your time and your efforts and your energy. So the first thing would just be to join the community. That's free. You can follow them on social media, or you can reach out, DM a friend. Of course, it's not easy. I'm not saying that it is. Of course, it's also not ideal, but you really want something. You really want to learn. And if you build that skill, it's going to make way for you. So don't give up on yourself. Don't give up because you don't have a laptop or a tech tool. Create an opportunity for yourself and say, how can I use my phone up until this period? Is there anybody that I can ask and, sort of hang around to be able to use their laptops? How can I improve my chances of success? And just go right ahead and do it. To be honest, one of the biggest solutions to most of the challenges that I have faced would be truly thinking about what I have. What is it that I have right now that could make room for me for the next best thing? If I don't have money, what do I have? If I don't have money, do I have friends? Do I have people who care about the cause? Do I have, what do I have? That's really important to think about. So as opposed to thinking about, of course there are challenges, there are going to be many. There's some that, no matter even how many times I tell you about it, it's just going to be, there are going to be so many types, different challenges. Imagine that you're writing an exam, and as you're writing that exam, there's a deadline, of course. Let's say the exam is supposed to take 1 hour to complete, right? And then you are writing the exam, 1 hour has passed, 2 hours, you spend 5 hours, and you wrote 100%, right? So you scored 100%. Yeah. 5 hours has passed, so there's no invigilator to submit your paper to, but you're sure that if you had submitted, you'd have gotten 100%.
You would have passed, yeah.
Or somebody who submitted within the 1 hour and actually got 70 or 80%. Who do you think, is wiser? Is the person that spends 5 hours being unable to submit to the invigilator and scored 100%, but the 100% was not registered in their book because ultimately they didn't submit their paper to the invigilator. So at the end of the day, their 100% is actually zero. Versus the person who managed to submit, scored 80% within the hour that it was given, I think that the person who scored 80% is wiser, and truly,
Yeah, that's quite logical.
exactly, because timing is also really important. The time that yes, you're trying to be perfect, but timing is also important. If you miss the time, if you miss the deadline, it might not be relevant anymore. So
Yeah.
when you have to pick between progress and perfection, I think that it is wiser to pick progress. 20% is better than 0%, right? So try your best. Do the best that you possibly can within the period of time that you have, and let it go. Push it out there. Put out the word. Make sure that it's out there and it's excellent. Yeah. And you would see the difference. Progress is so important because it creates all this ripple effects where people are now willing to help you and show up for you because they can see that you're putting efforts. People are more likely to help someone who is trying than somebody who just sits down and is doing nothing. I think that everything we're doing right now is great. We're mentoring women, not just Ingressive for Good, but like I've seen this across the ecosystem where people are mentoring, people are teaching, they're empowering women. Of course, there could be like government intervention, which could make a lot so much better. So, for example, in countries and states where women aren't allowed to go to, elementary school and things like that, that should definitely stop, of course. And so, if that's something that governments can intervene, or societies in general can intervene and just sort of stop, that would make us move forward so much faster and quicker. However, in the absence of that, one of the first things is just creating women-focused opportunities, right? Where women are given the chance to just, be in full bloom. At Ingressive for Good, I know we had like a 1,000 Women in X program. We just had a couple of male-led programs
That's great. That's great.
Focused on women. And right now in our community, 53% of the people who are in our community of 250,000 people, 53% are women. So that's great.
That's great.
I think that's really awesome, and it's because they feel safe with us and they know that we're not trying to set them up, use them for statistic, because they know we genuinely care. So generally, I would say people should just genuinely care and ask themselves, what can I do to help one woman improve in the tech ecosystem? What can I do to make one woman's journey easier? How can I make one woman's journey easier? Because sometimes we're trying to focus on the numbers, we're trying to prove that we're doing the best we possibly can. We're posting pictures of, International Women's Day, but we're just like, it's just lip service, right? So I feel like if we can go beyond lip service and we do things that are very action bound, we'll also put more women out there in front of other girls so the girls can see that this woman did this, so you too can. That would also be great. I think beyond just mentorship and all of this, if there are people who are out there that can fund more businesses that are led by women, of course, there are currently stereotypes that exist for the kind of founders that people are looking for. But I think that those stereotypes have to really be revisited, right? Really think about it. Like, of course, this is what you're used to. However, what model works and how can we train more women to fit that model, or even look deeper into the models that women operate, like models of businesses that women operate, and see if it's viable, as opposed to just dismissing it because it doesn't fit the existing model. Things like that would be really helpful. But finally, we as women, I think that we can't keep waiting for anybody to help us. And so one of my biggest mantras has been, it's okay for me to be the first, but it's not okay for me to be the only. So as women, any space that you find yourself, even if you're the first woman there, that's great. We celebrate you. But figure out how you won't be the only woman there. Figure out how you can create opportunities for more women to come and join you. So if you can mentor one woman to be like you, to be as good as you, can share your knowledge in a way that another woman can feel like you're holding the door open for her, I think that's great, and it's worth looking into. Sometimes we feel very uncomfortable asking for help or receiving help. You're not stupid because you asked for help. Everybody needs help. We all need each other. So feel free to ask for help. When you don't know, ask questions. When you are stuck, ask for help. And when that help comes, receive it with open arms. But don't just be that person who is always just receiving help. Give help to add value to other people.
I've remained unchanged. My name is Emmanuel Michael Amobu, and I'm with TechbuildAfrica.